Welcome back to another episode of David and Soy. So, before we start the video today, before we start the audio, whatever you're watching this on, I want to make a full disclaimer. The person that I had on this episode was amazing. He is funny, he is brilliant, he's just one of the greatest people that I have met on this planet. He was one of my favorite people to interview on this podcast. And little backstory, he was one of the first people I did this episode with. I think he was probably like the second person, maybe. And I was still learning how to do the videos, how to work the microphones, how to make sure everything looks great. And it was kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of weird because this was our first time doing it, like ever, like doing a podcast. And this episode really made me think about life in a different way. He was answering really great questions. He was asking great questions. He was just a genuine guy that just left me speechless. He also just had great exclusives like into his life that I was completely lost by. That he told me something and I was like, wait, what? It was just so crazy to me. But we noticed that midway through the EP, the microphones died. We didn't notice until we finished. And as I was editing this episode, I was like, I don't know about this one. Like, it's a little wonky, it's a little weird. And then we both listened to it, and we were both like, you know what? We're gonna post it regardless. This EP was very genuine. It was our genuine reactions, and we just didn't want to record it. We just didn't want to take away that, I guess you can say, special spark that it had. And so, without further ado, I'm gonna let the episode go on. But midway, like I said, the audio gets a little weird. So turn up your volume, get your headphones, whatever you need to do. Listen to everything this dude says because it is amazing. So here we go. Welcome back to my show, David Kinsoy. Today I am here with one of my longest friends that I've known since actually sixth grade. We actually met in sixth grade. We actually weren't really that close. We actually started reconnecting just recently last year. Without further ado, I'm gonna let Lumo introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lumo. I don't really know what else to say. My real name is Luis Molina. Like David said, we've just known each other for a really long time. We fell out of touch a little bit because of COVID and everything that happened there. We both started growing on our own paths after high school, and we started doing our own things. But we've recently reconnected, and I'm very excited to be on the podcast.
All right, let's get into it. So I actually know Luis since sixth grade, approximately. Like, you've always been such a calm person, like super. Like, look at him, just a chill, nonchalant person. No, but you work out. You look great, by the way. You're a really fit guy. You have a great style. You're very chill. He just does whatever he needs to do in life. But he has this kind of like image that kind of looks like a gym bro. Like, get out of my way. I'm better than you. Ah. Have you ever got that from other people?
I mean, initially, like at work, I'll bump into people or I'll take patients in, and then I got this compliment this one time. Somebody said that I looked like a farmer that they know because they're bulky. I'm like, okay, thank you, I guess. So I guess people see it sometimes. I can tell that people might perceive me because I was like super skinny, I think, in high school. And like ever since I started working out and a little bit working on myself, I've really seen how people perceive me differently. But it's not necessarily in a bad way, just a different way that people treat you. They don't necessarily point it out, but I can tell they take notice. And then what else? If I was calm.
Well, that was basically just it. Does that help you look at people a different way now? Like the way they see you? Because you've changed. Like he said, he was like just as quiet, and then he would have like his AD scrawny. he would have his like ADHD moments where I was like, what just happened?
Wait, really? You noticed it too?
Yeah, it was like
I was diagnosed. So
really
in college, I'm like, wow, studying is hell. Like,
studying is hell.
And I had to go get some psychiatric help.
Oh, no way.
And now I'm really big advocate of that. If like people in college, because I'm in college, they're like, man, studying is super hard. And I start to like notice them, ask them questions. I'm like, maybe you should see like a therapist or psychiatrist. So I just advocate for it. I don't push it, but I think it's super important because I
You're in
know.
college right now?
Hmm.
What school?
I'm in CU Boulder.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. What are you studying?
I'm studying biochemistry. That's my major. And then my minor is biomedical engineering.
What are you planning on doing with that?
No idea.
Oh,
No idea. Not for
no,
the moment.
not at the moment. I feel like, but do you like it?
I really like it. I really like it, but I think I just kind of drifted to what I was doing best at in school, and I didn't take a future approach to it. But now that I have learned it and everything, I'm really interested in like genetics and genetic engineering and stuff like that. But I think it's really cool. I have to start looking for jobs. I didn't get an internship or anything, so I'm
Is that
just, like,
hard? Like,
looking for jobs.
no, like stepping not into the real world, but like I feel like for college students, from like the minute we go into kindergarten or preschool, wherever you go to, we have a set schedule. And we have to be able telling us, hey, you have to be here at this time. You have to be and even in college, you get a little bit more freedom. But now you're still getting that same schedule where you're like, your classes are this, this, this. Is that hard for you to transition into the real world?
Yeah. So I graduate in like a month.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And I've started to, in my free time, because it's usually just been go, 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 one assignment after the other, one shift after the other. There's always things happening. And now, whenever I'm on break, like right now, I'm on spring break, it hits me. Like, I have nothing to freak out about right now. And all I have left to think about is the future, and I don't know what I'm doing.
You said patience. Are you a nurse or?
I'm an optometry technician. So, whenever you go to the doctor and they're like doing all the machines on you for the eyes, for your glasses and your prescription, I'm the guy telling you where to put your chin.
Are you the guy that goes like, look at the house real quick for me?
Yeah, yeah.
Bro,
the
I have
house.
beef with you people, bro.
No,
Every
no,
single
no,
time they're
I'm
like,
trying.
there's just gonna be a little touch of air, bro. That's a whole windmill
Yeah.
right there, bro.
Yeah, it definitely. I try to be as nice and like explain everything as well as I can. The puff of air gets people all the time.
I used to get irritated
Jump
with it.
back.
Like I
Yeah.
used to get so mad at it. Now I'm like, okay, it's gonna come. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. And then I don't know. They don't tell you when it's gonna come. They just
Yeah.
like go like, I just give it a minute. So you're preparing yourself for it. And then like you're like, okay, it's not coming.
Yeah, it scares people when people jump back all the time. It's kind of fun, honestly, sometimes because they have to be like, I don't know. I tell people, I'm like, look forward and don't blink. And then I do it, and it's like, I don't know. It's funny because then they get scared. I'm not saying it's funny to scare people, but it's just.
Wait,
it's a
do
little
you
entertaining.
press the button?
Yeah, I press the button.
No way. You guys are haters, bro. I never knew that. That's crazy. But you guys are haters. Going back to the original question. So you were a very quiet kid, very calm. You were super calm. And the one class that we actually had together that we were consistent with was speech and debate. The drama. It's there.
Trombone.
Drama bond. Weirdly enough, me and Luis sat next to each other during speech and debate, but we had like free sitting. So it's kind of weird.
Don't know how that happened.
Don't know how that happened, but you ever sit next to somebody and you're like, oh, this dude's pretty cool. And then like little by little, you're like, oh, okay. He might be a little tism. It's okay. Raise him with the tism.
Yeah,
you
a little
know?
bit. And I never realized that until I got to college. Like, I didn't look at myself too much. And so I've started to kind of develop more self-awareness of how I act in person.
Are you insecure by it, or are you just like, it is what it is?
No. I'm an
Okay,
open
okay,
book. I'm an open book.
I'm over here like judging him, like, bro, you
You
suck.
can say whatever. You can say whatever. I'm an open book. That's why, like, when you asked me to be on this interview, you said you asked if I wanted to know the questions beforehand. I just wanted to give you like my most honest self, and that's why like I couldn't prepare a certain answer or anything.
25 people, mind you, 25. I asked 25 people, all of them said yes, including Luis. Out of nowhere, I go like, do you guys want to see the questions beforehand? Because I made them all questions beforehand. Everyone said yes, and Luis is like, nah, let's just raw dog it. We'll go for it. We'll go for it.
Yeah, because that's how you'll get the most sincere answer out of me, I think. And I think that being transparent is one of the things that I'm proud of, is that I'm not ashamed of anything that I've done. Not in like a cocky way or anything, but I feel confident in the person that that I have built up.
Are you first generation?
Yeah. Yeah,
How
first
does that
generation.
feel?
It felt scary for sure, like in the beginning as in like your late teens, because like you start driving, you don't have any advice from people, and like your family's always busy, so my parents weren't really there to give me too much advice. Um, like going to college, I had to figure everything out on my own. And now that my brother's going to college, I'm helping him out. And I'm like, okay, let's sign up for orientation. Let's rank your dorms. Let's do all this. And I'm helping him out. And it happens so much faster because I'm there to help him. Unfortunately, I didn't have that. So it's whatever. But um, I think it's just the work ethic that I had built up and seen from my parents made me really determined to figure it out. But it definitely was a lot harder. Just you don't have anybody to turn to.
Do you think because we went to a school, and I was just talking to Jenny about this in another podcast, and I was talking to a lot of people about our high school, because we were the first class ever. Like we were the first
Yeah.
freshmen,
Yeah.
the first sophomores. I just know like the oldest child were having PTSD being in that school. Like
Yeah.
always having to be the first ones to like, and we would always get blamed for everything. Be like, you guys are seniors, you guys
Yeah.
have to represent for like, you guys are sophomores. And I'm just like, bro, we just work here.
Yeah, but there was no example to follow.
There was
or
no
anything. It was, like,
example.
us
And
setting
then
it.
well, we had to share a school with a building with another school, and they had sophomores, so they had a little bit more easier. But for us, we were just like, here you go.
Just put in there.
And like we had like the weirdest homecomings and the weirdest, we didn't even have prom, first of all. But we had the weirdest like dances, but our school was very open on culture, on sexual orientation, all that stuff. Do you ever feel like we got the best education we could, or do you think we could have done a little bit better?
Like as a school district or like what we were taught?
I guess you could say that.
I mean, culturally, that was a little bit on us, like to do a little more. But we were such a small class that there wasn't,
No one told us what to do.
no one told us what we should do. Like I remember when we were in National Honor Society,
Mhm.
I had been like assigned to help fundraise for our projects. And I'm like, I don't know how to fundraise money. And it's just like, you got to fundraise this amount. I'm like, what? How? I didn't know anything. But I don't think we got the best education that we could have gotten, because once I got to college, I met people that came in with enough credits to be like a sophomore already. And I felt like I had to play catch up. I still feel like I have to play catch up until pretty recently. Like I studied a lot more than my like other peers. And I just wasn't at the level that I should have been prepared to go to for college.
That you should have been, or you wanted to be?
I think should have been. I don't know. Like, do you remember physics?
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember how hard or like
It was-
difficult that class was for a lot of people?
Because we were supposed to, from what I learned from a lot of people from other high schools, it turns out that we were supposed to have physics first, and then chemistry, and then biology. And then I think the last year you got to pick whatever you wanted to do. So we did that reverse. We had bio, chem, and then physics. And for some reason, chemistry always felt like you needed to know physics, or like some vice versa. You know what I mean? And I remember, shout out to the physics teacher. He
was great.
he was an amazing.
really
He
great.
really like stayed after school. He was like, if you guys need help, but
All the teachers were great, by the way. I'm
They
not
were
saying
great.
this was like to any fault.
they
of
they
them.
were great teachers. I just think we didn't have, because we were so new, they had nothing to compare it to. They had like, and I get it, like every year you get better, but like they had like, and these were like sometimes new teachers straight out of college, so even they didn't know how to like teach us. And I remember we used to have, I don't know if you remember our English teacher,
Dr. Heltzel?
Dr. Hetzel.
Yeah.
And even he was having a hard time teaching us sometimes because it was so chaotic. Like he taught every single class, by the way. The AB class, the regular class. So he would have to go from TISM to advanced, TISM to advanced. You know what I mean? And it was hard for him. But I miss him. Every time I'd be like, Mister, he's like, it's doctor?
Yeah.
I have my doctorates.
Couldn't miss it.
And I thought it was so funny. But I will agree with you there. Our educational system was not the best. I think there was a lot of missing things that I wish I would have learned, even like the basic things. And I know for like for example, I had a hard time writing and reading, and so ELA for some reason they put us in our classroom, and instead of teaching us, they just gave us a packet, and we didn't even do the. I'm being so for real. We didn't even do the packet because you know who we went to school with.
Yeah, you can't teach them if you just hand them freaking
Lit-
packets.
There's just a cut video of like some people need to learn. Like you
Yeah.
gotta be others. Some people can't. I love that video. Do you wish you had a better high school experience then?
Transparently, I think that all of our upbringings made us who we are. So I don't mind that like we went through it. I don't mind that we were like the first seniors or whatever. And I don't know. I think that it would have been nice to have a more events and like a little bit better curriculum, but I think it worked out. It worked out to get you where you are today. So
I think what we didn't really learn from our classes, we actually learned from our teachers instead. I know that sounds weird. All of us came out very different. Every single student came out super, super different, but we all have the same mindset to just, let's just go for it. What do we have to lose? That was all of our mindsets because all of our teachers said, just go for it. What do you have to lose? Which is why I started the podcast. And it's scary when you're told a certain thing, but your teachers are like, don't listen to this.
yeah, I
Go
thought that
out.
was interesting. I never heard
And
it.
shout out to, this is going to haunt me one day. Shout out to one of my favorite teachers, Miss Anna Steed. She traumatized me so hard. I love her, but she traumatized me, with her big hair and just like, she was so loud. But she taught us like, and she would scream at us like at least once a week. It was like a huge lecture. But I really thank her because now if I'm talking to someone, it's not as scary to talk to them because I'm like, you're not Anna. You
Yeah, I
can't
get
scare
it.
me,
I
bro.
get it.
You're not Anna. Like you wish you were her. That class was like a little traumatizing because it was
Yeah,
very
it was.
competitive.
Yeah, it was super competitive. At least I took it in like I think hopefully a healthy way where I was having a lot of fun trying to get to the top and like stress myself out too much. But that class I think shaped a lot of me because I don't know. I think I was partly calm because I was too scared about what other people would think of me if I acted out in any certain way. And that class really made me step out of my comfort zone, especially if you did like the weekend events, like the competitions on the weekends. Like, I didn't want to get up on a Saturday and Sunday morning and like speak in front of an audience, but I did it. And I think it built up some character. And like I said, it put you in a place to where you are now.
And doing those competitions, even as a 23-year-old, it's
Scary.
trauma. Like
Shivers.
it's so like, I mean, now I'm more comfortable speaking in public and all that, but she really pushed you to be the best. Like the best was not good enough. You had to be perfect. And what I like about her was that like even though she was hardcore and she was like so like she was such a mom to all of us. Like we were her team. And I remember she like went to like I remember she would go to the judges table and be like, "You didn't hear this from me, but you got third." And I
I
was
felt
just
so important, so cool. It's
yeah,
like, you're telling me this?
yeah,
You're telling me this?
whoa. And then little do you know you got like fourth place and you're like, what the heck, Anna? Like what's going on here? No, but I really do thank her because even though that class was like really competitive and you could actually feel the tensity in that classroom because we had like really good people, like really good people. I remember one of our classmates, Zael, by far one of the best that I've ever seen. That dude did everything and anything. Super, super cool. But one thing that I really wish I would have done more is like asked you guys on how to do stuff. Cause I just went into senior year. She gave me that option to go into her classroom. And you were there for
I think like 3. I think it was 3 years.
three
Right?
3 years.
Yeah.
Did you ever regret it?
No, definitely not.
No,
No, because I think one of the bigger things that so me and Miss Steed got a little bit closer, and then she had asked me to give a speech for like some higher ups in like what is it called, the Denver DPS in DPS Denver Public Schools. I just had to give a talk in front of them, and I think I was a junior at the time. But I went to go give a speech in front of all these important people, and I had to write it, I had to practice it, I had to speak it, and I remember I was so nervous, like everything was shaking in me, like my vision was going a little bit black. Not awesome, but I felt so achieved and
The
so
way you
proud
said
of
it,
myself.
not awesome, but you know.
And I just felt so proud of myself afterwards that I think having teachers that really, really cared, um, really helped me build that confidence that like to face something that is difficult and scary and then get over it and you look back and you're so proud of yourself because you did something to build yourself up.
And like once you finished what you were supposed to do, like at first she would like, no, you got this, just go for it. And like once you're done, she's like, she would hype you up like right away, be like, you did great, you did awesome. But yeah, that I'm still traumatized by that. I'm not gonna lie. And for those who think, oh, speech and debate is really easy, no, it's not. It's a 10-minute piece, and sometimes that's if you're lucky. Sometimes it's a 10-minute piece, and then sometimes you just want like closer to 10 minutes. So let's say you did 8 minutes perfectly. You had to memorize it. You had to, and it's like theater, except you had to mime everything.
Yeah, you were like the director, the producer, the actor,
Everything.
everything.
And then when you did like duos, like with two people, you couldn't look at each other. You had to like, one person had to like look that way, the other person had to look that way. And somehow you had to convince the audience that you guys were looking at each other. You couldn't touch your face. So if you started crying, you were just like pretending to wipe your. It's so, now that I'm looking at back then, how do we do it?
Yeah, it was very artful though. It opened my mind to be like interpret because it was called that was
Interpretation.
interpretation. Um, I don't know. It was very creative though. You got very creative with needing to like blow a trumpet or open a door, chick a door, you know. But I think it was very nice. It was a very nice experience overall.
Welcome back to Kinsoy. I'm still here with Lumo, right? Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm so used to calling him Louis, so he's like the entire time. So I kind of want to change a little bit of topics
Yeah.
real quick. You're engaged.
It's not the real ring. It's just how to wear it. Something there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, are we allowed to talk about that today?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I actually was surprised because you didn't really post it. You didn't really tell. You just one day you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm engaged, by the way," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"What the hell?" And then like I'm looking at your Instagram and I go, "No way! How long have you guys been engaged?"
I had asked her. Her name is Daisy. I had asked Daisy back in January. So what happened was I went on a vacation with my family to Cancun, and then we would talk all the time, text all the time, and I had just missed her a ton. I don't know. And then as soon as I got back to Cancun, we hung out, and pretty much like within the week that I was back, I'm like, I want to be with her. And then
Oh.
we had a really sentimental moment, and I had asked her like, "Do you want to be my wife? Would you like?" That's not how I asked, but and she said yes. Um, and I don't know, I just felt sure in it. I wasn't scared, and that's why I think that it was right for me at the time, and now. Um, she's just she compliments me very well, and I compliment her very well. I hope and I believe. Um, we have similar mindsets, and she's very hardworking, which I value a lot, and she's very responsible, and she also has a mindset that she always wants to grow, and I think that's very admirable. And I admire her a lot.
Sorry. Is she in school?
Yeah,
What is she studying?
she's studying IFI, integrated physiology, at CU Boulder as well. She's one grade under me, but we're gonna be graduating within like the same. We're gonna be in the same ceremony, but she'll be graduating like in the summer. She's taking some summer classes after, so we'll be graduating around the same time. Because I also took a fifth year. COVID made it super difficult to like get the start on school.
But I remember this one thing that our teacher said. Shout out to Ms. Brown. Um, college is never really 4 years, is it? It's
Yeah,
five.
no,
It's 5 years, huh?
it's 5 years. I was always a full time student, but I had made a lot of mistakes. I was learning how to study, and I failed a good amount of classes. I failed 9 exams in a row for a math class, and that's what made me switch out of engineering into making it my minor because I just could not pass that class. But it's just determination, like getting through it.
I feel like you knew who was gonna pass engineering when we did physics straight up. He's like, you're gonna get an egg. You're gonna get like what was it? Toothpicks.
Toothpicks in an egg.
No one passed that class, by the way. But you failed 9 exams.
9 exams because I didn't want to give up on it. And you can only take the same class 3 times, which is equivalent of 9 exams, before you have to switch. So I did it all 3 times because I was just so stubborn. Like, I'm not giving this up. I made it this far. I ended up making biomedical engineering my minor, so I still get that on my degree, at least.
Are you excited though? You're about to graduate.
Yeah, I'm super
You're
excited.
about to be
I'm counting down the days.
You're gonna be a man now. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
be. You're. Do you think? Because well now now in this day and age, 23 is still 22. Sorry, it's still young. Like, are you scared? Like you're getting married. You're getting married. You're getting married. You're leaving school. You're about to start a life. Like, what goes into your head?
I'm super excited. Um, it's scary, but stepping into college from high school, being first generation, and like having to learn everything yourself was, like I said, it was like giving that speech. It was like everything sucked all the time while it was happening. But then I looked back and I'm like, wow, I did that and I was able to like get all these accomplishments done. That right now, like I look forward and it is scary to think about, but I have no doubt that everything's gonna fall into place and like I'll be able to get a good life for myself as long as I try my hardest and put that work in.
I just want to say something real quick. Luis is so humble in life. He's not being sober. He's so humble in life. He came into my crib. I was like, oh, like, cause I got him food. I was like, oh, here's your food. Like, would you like anything else?
Thank you
Like,
very much.
the Mexican in me was like, would you like water? Would you like bullet? Like, literally, Luis looked at me so traumatized. He looked at me so traumatized. He's like, he's gonna kidnap me. He's gonna roofie me. Who knows? I'm gonna end up like in the tub with like my kidney out. He looked at me so concerned, and he's just like so. He was like a little boy in the corner. Like, do you ever feel like that? You're still that little boy in the corner, just like.
What do you mean, like nervous about my surroundings or like nervous about life?
Nervous about life, because you've never been here. You came in, and you were just like, all right, let's do this. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I've never been on a podcast, so I didn't know what we were doing. And I'm like, oh, we're gonna eat beforehand? Not a mukbang? Is that what it's called?
I have no idea. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
But I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit cautious of a person, and I just want to look around a little bit and see what was going on and understand. Because yeah, I guess in new situations, I'm a little nervous.
It was like a little cat. Like, you guys ever put a cat in a place where it's like they don't know where it is. It's just like looking around, like, oh my, is there cameras here? Am I getting video?
What gave it away?
What's going on?
I thought I was being like, oh yeah, I know
Subtle.
what's going on.
Yeah, you see your perspective. Just like sometimes you look at someone and you're just like, oh, yeah, that's not it.
Yeah.
That's not it. But that's exciting. You're starting new chapters. Did you ever think you were gonna start a new chapter this early into your life? By that I mean marriage.
Um, I mean, I guess I didn't have a certain age. I wasn't like 25. I'm gonna be married.
Do you want kids?
Yeah.
How many?
Two. Two.
Side note, just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And
I'm gonna be fast.
and I guess it'll be a good time to announce publicly that we are having a baby too.
No way! Congratulations. By the way, this probably gonna come out after he graduates, so it's perfect timing.
Yeah. It is perfect timing.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you guys know the sex of the baby?
No, we
No.
don't.
What are you hoping for?
Whichever. We don't mind either one. We were both talking about it. Sometimes like if we see like a teacup set, we'll be like, I can't wait to pour tea. Or like I'm like, oh, shark PJs. I can't wait to buy those.
Oh, that's
You know,
like.
but we really don't care either way.
I
Like
feel like you're a daddy's girl though. You're such a daddy. You're like yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think either way, we're gonna love him either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he's the type of dad that I could imagine this straight up. The type of dad who's like outside in the real world, he's like super calm. He's like, no, don't do that. Don't. In the house, WWE, about to slap you down. You know what I mean? Like I could totally see you doing that, like grabbing him by the little neck and be like, pow.
No, yeah, I love messing around, and I think it helps me take out like that child in me, to be able to mess around and have fun. Um, I'm really not scared of raising a kid. Um, I do this thing in the summers. I've done it for the past 3 summers. It's called Camp Kesem.
I heard about
Yeah,
this.
you've heard about
I
it?
was actually gonna ask you about that today.
Yeah.
What made you do that?
Like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm a person that like if I have too much time on my hands, I want to be productive with it. I don't want to feel like I'm sinking my time or like letting it go, not to waste, but I'm not doing anything with it. And I was just scrolling on my email one day, like sophomore year of college. At the very bottom of like the pre-med email, it was like, if you want to be a camp counselor, sign up for Camp Kesem. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. I did some summer camps in Montbello. They were day camps though, so I would go every day. This one was like an overnight camp. I'm like, that sounds pretty cool. So I signed up. I got into the counselors list, and it was one of the best experiences that I've had because it's for kids whose families have been affected by cancer, and this is like a free camp that we provide. There's a bunch of universities that do it. Um, and it's a camp that we provide to give them a fun summer and a space to vent with people that would understand them, not necessarily adults, but they can talk to other teenagers and other kids because it goes down to like 5 years old, like 5 year old kids up to 18-year-old. And I've been like a camp counselor for each age group pretty much. Um, so I've gotten to see them as they grow up, and it's super cute, but uh, it just feels natural to kind of take on like a guardian role, or I hope it'll feel as natural to be a dad, and to help bring someone up and like teach them things and how to teach them to be a good, respectful human being.
Looking at him like straight up, my ADHD is hitting so hard. But it's because he's always had that perfect smile. But
uh,
like what I think is so funny is that we're really adults now. Like it hits me now. Like
yeah,
it's hitting me right now where I'm just like, it's a grown man in my house. What's going on?
yeah,
No, but that's congratulations. Hoping for the best. That's actually really weird. You heard it first here.
yeah.
But
Nobody really has heard.
no, really, have you guys told your parents?
Yeah, we told my parents yesterday night at a dinner.
Wow. How was that?
Um, it was good. It was good.
Was it
It
like a
was a
little
bit of a
yeah.
shock. It was a bit of a shock, definitely. Daisy's parents were a lot happier. Her brothers were all really happy, for both of us. They know me, excuse me, they know me pretty well, and I think that they trust me, and the person that I've become. But with my family, I don't know. I feel like they might have gotten a little offended that we didn't tell them sooner. Because right now she's 13 weeks. She's 13 weeks, so it's about 3 months. And it went a certain way. Things are gonna fall into place. Nothing I could do about it.
What was your by the way, guys, we're drinking Red Bulls. I have the coconut berry, my favorite one.
Wild berries.
Did you end up liking it?
Yeah, this is pretty good. I've
I
never
just
had
picked a
this one.
random one for it, by the way. But congratulations. What was the your first initial thought like?
Like
Like
when we found out.
when you guys find out, like was there a moment where you were like, dude, so something's not coming.
Yeah.
like was there ever a moment, not to like get in your business, but was there a moment where you were like, should we have this baby?
Um, I think there was a lot that went into it. Um, when we found out, I had already asked her, like proposed. So that was already like I knew that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. And then when we found out that she was pregnant because she missed her period by like 1 or 2 weeks, we were a little concerned. We took a test and we found out, and we got a little emotional. And of course, there was a little bit of doubt, but now that like it came at a time when we're both graduating college, it just kind of feels natural to me. Like what I mentioned a little bit earlier is that it feels like this is the next step in my life.
Mhm.
Because I think as a little kid, I think my goal, and I've written this down in like a journal that I have, is like that my only goal is to be a good dad. Um, and I think it's been that way ever since I was a kid. Like I've wanted to build myself up close or like around to the person that I am today. There still has some things that I need to work on, but not for myself, rather for the family that I'm gonna have.
Mm. made me a little emotional. I'm not gonna lie. No, I honestly, I say this with a full heart. You're gonna be a great dad because you're
Thank
honestly like just one of those people who has such a great heart. And so when I was making this list of people who I wanted on the pod, your name was like third. I don't know if you know that.
Really?
You were third on my list because it was like a lot of people, and then for some reason you were third. And do you know when I figured out that I wanted you on the pod? It was actually for those who know don't know. The reason I started texting Luis a little bit more was because I do Bible services or Bible classes. And I was like, hey, so I'm really scared. This is my first service and I haven't made one in 3 years. So that one was like my first one that I actually publicized. And so this is actually gonna be super, super funny. It was kind of sad back then, but this is really funny. I was like, if anybody wants to see it, like look at it, I forgot that I only you needed an access code to look at my. I
Yeah.
forgot, so it was like I got a little sad because I was like, oh, no one looked at it. That's so sad. And then one day I checked my emails because that's the email I use for my podcast now. I looked at it and it said Luis Molina is asking for a code to look at this, and
Yeah.
then it was like Jasmine Gavino and like all these random people that I haven't talked to in years. You guys were like, yeah. I wanna what made you wanna, like, look at it?
So around the same time, I think that I've had like an inkling of a person that I wanted to be. And I think religion is something that is really important to help guide you in life, to give you at least like a baseline of morals. Um, Religion is just something that I'm interested in. And I was getting into it around the same time that you had posted that story, asking if anyone want to see your class. I just bought my Bible like 2 or 3 weeks beforehand. And I'm like, this is kind of hard to interpret. And
It's really hard.
yeah, it was hard to interpret, and I didn't know how to really read it and understand it and then internalize it. And I was just thinking for weeks. I was like, I wish there was something that would teach me how to read the Bible. And then he posts this story.
Shucks.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh damn, like you know,
Live plays itself, huh?
yeah, yeah. So I clicked on it. It's like you need to request access. I'm like, okay, I'm sure he wouldn't mind. Like I'm not bothering. So I requested it, and it was a really in depth, really interesting experience to be able to go to my first class because that was my first class. I've never read the Bible before, and having someone teach it to me was very intriguing, and it helps a lot.
So, little fun fact for the viewers who are watching this. Um, I actually when Luis told me that he got engaged, the first thing I did without hesitation is I went to the store. I actually didn't go to the store. I went on Amazon and I bought him a Bible. Uh, I bought him his it's actually right there. Ooh, yeah. I bought him a Bible, and I basically just told him right now. Um, I've always grown up with Christians around my life, so when someone's about to get married, we give them their first marriage Bible. So I wanted to be the first person to give you your first wedding gift, basically, and be like, "Hey, this is your foundation. This is what you need to do." And for some reason, there's multiple versions of the Bible. And I was like, hmm. I've always had a hard time reading the Bible, even as a dyslexic. It's really hard. And so there's this new version called the International Version, where it's straightforward. It's so clear. I have never read a Bible that's so clear. So when you read this one, you're gonna be like, oh shit,
Some
okay.
stuff is
Yeah,
making
it's
sense.
like
Yeah.
some of this is okay. And I think it's very interesting that is it just Christianity that you were looking for, or are you looking at other places?
So I was raised Catholic, but I don't know. There's a lot of I'd rather be able to build it myself, not like build a new religion, but kind of allow myself to just to lead myself into whichever way that I believe in. So I didn't want to be restricted. Like my family is all Catholic, so I have to be a Catholic. Like I wanted to figure it out or discover it myself. Um, so it was just like I've talked to several people. Like I don't know if at least in Boulder, there's some people that walk around preaching the Bible, or they'll be on campus asking you if you want to talk about the Bible, and I always take the opportunity. There have been like different faiths. I've talked to a couple monks, and I just talk to everybody trying to figure out where I want to stand. Um,
What are you looking for though? Like, is it enlightenment, purpose?
um, I don't know what I'm looking for. I think it might be purpose,
Mm.
not purpose for myself, but like something to act on. It's like you have something not to defend, but like you have your morals that you live by and that you teach, and you don't need to necessarily preach the religion, but you can preach the message.
Are you looking for a reason,
A reason to like be alive or to act.
or just yeah, just in general? Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
guess
just
you could say that.
okay. So you're just looking for a reason. Okay. Is there any question that you want to ask about the Bible right now? Because I feel like a lot of people. I know. Shout out to Jasmine. She's gonna be on the podcast. Um, I don't know if you remember Jasmine Gambino.
Yeah, I think so.
Weirdly enough, she's still the closest friend I have right now in life, and it's weird because she left when we were 14. It's super weird. And ironically, she's actually the first person I sent Bible classes to.
Mhm.
So she is nowhere near Christian at all. But for some reason, people just love hearing when I give sermons. Like why were you so interested by that one that I send you? Because I send you multiple ones. And do you ever get tired of them? Do you ever just want to read more?
No, I think it's just the learning aspect. Like you learn something new. At least I'm a person that likes to learn a lot. So like my YouTube is full of like really nerdy videos about like taxes and like farming and law
Oh,
and
I know. Before this thing, he was like, "So you're gonna go see the new Minecraft movie, or?"
yeah.
And I was like, "No."
Like I
He's
just
like, "Are you gonna go to McDonald's and get the Happy Meal?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm good, Louis. Thank you."
like I don't know. I just like to learn about a lot of stuff. I kind of even as a kid, I would buy those like 205 facts that you didn't know, those books. Just because I like learning about the
Hella
world.
HDHD, huh?
Yeah.
Hella, because that was that's me.
And I think just that you were a person that I knew a person that I knew personally. Um, you were willing to teach somebody about something, and I thought that was worth listening to. So,
Oh, I cut you off. Is there a question?
no, I don't think so.
No, you're just if it's there, it's there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I think so. I think you just discovered it on the way there.
that's crazy. I no, that's really crazy because, like I said, we went to school, we knew of each other, we talked every now and then. We had a few classes. Did not talk. The minute we graduated, no talking, no nada. And then one day I saw him on Instagram. I was like, "Who's this?" And mind you, like we're being so for real. He used to be really skinny. He used to be really, really skinny. And out of nowhere, I see this dude like your face was being covered. I was like, and
Yeah.
I see the little name. It says Luis. I was like, oh damn! I was like, that dude, like literally, you were just huge out of nowhere. What motivates you? And do you think actually no, what motivates you?
For like putting effort into myself, or
That just going to the gym, being better than when you were.
um, I don't know. I mentioned it a little bit that I'm a person that if I have the time, I want to do something with it. Um, and it's hard. Like there was a time going from junior year to my senior year of college because I'm a super senior now. Junior to senior year, where I had just been like, I got in a really bad place, just to put it to the least. And I was just stuck in bed for like months. And at that time, like I failed 4 out of the 5 classes that I was taking. The only one that I did pass was a lab, which wasn't hard to pass at all, and I still only passed with a B on that one. Um,
I just like to make a little comment just to cut you off real quick. Luis is super smart. And I no, like I'm not like hyping you up. No, no, he's super smart. So like this is the first time I keep hearing that he's failing in class. Where I'm like, you see, motherfucker, this is how I felt in high school. Like this is what I was going through. No, I'm just so like I'm
yeah.
shocked that you actually. It's weird how even the best of the best have a hard time.
Yeah, like I said, it was a learning curve because I feel like I wasn't personally prepared enough to go to college. Um, Calculus, physics, those were the worst. There was like you had to do electrical engineering and coding. Like people have been doing that in their high schools for like 3 years. And I'm like, this is the first time I've downloaded a coding app or anything. Like, I don't know what to do here. But I failed a lot. I failed a lot in college, but I think it was just I hated feeling like I wasn't doing enough, and I considered dropping out multiple times. But it's where everything sucked at that moment. I don't know what kept me going. I just kind of put my head down and I did what I had to do. And then I look back and I'm like, shit, I did it.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, like I have a 2.1 GPA. And that was just like from the beginning, like I've been on a steady curve up. Like every class I'd get a slightly better grade. I've gotten harder, but I've done better. But at the beginning, it was just so tough to get there. Just that learning curve was so tough to scale. Um,
Were you ever comparing yourself to others?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Because, like I said, a lot of people came in there with the experience needed to do fine. Like they hit the ground running. Um, and I was like, I was so frustrated because I'd come in with all these issues. I don't feel like I was prepared. I said that already. But I also didn't know that I was depressed. I was like really depressed. That's why I was stuck in bed for like a couple months. I was stuck like half a year in bed. And then I had super bad, yeah.
how did you know that you were depressed? Because
Even in high school, I knew. I'm like, I don't, this
oh,
doesn't feel
like life
okay.
isn't hitting.
Yeah, this isn't good. Like, I don't like this stuff. But I just thought that's how everybody felt. And then once I stayed in bed for like 6 months at a time, I was like, something's wrong. And I started going to a therapist. I just stopped going to,
Whoa, you went to therapy.
yeah, I went to therapy for like 4 years.
Do you mind if I ask? Because I went to therapy. I hate it from. It's one of those things that, as a Chicano, first generation, you really don't want to say it out loud. Were you embarrassed by it?
I was embarrassed by it at first, but the two therapists that I had were so wonderful, and such amazing people that it was like, why would I be ashamed of them? They're such great
Mm.
people. Why would I be ashamed of their work? And they really helped out. They really helped a lot. Um,
What would you say to that one person who's like really going through this and is listening to this, and they're like, it's so shameful to go because a lot of cultures, if you ask for help, it's saying that you're weak and you're not
mm,
the best. What is your word of advice?
I think I think that I'm a person that would say, do what feels right to you. I say this to like all my friends all the time. My brother, my sister, they're both younger than me, and I give them advice and I tell them like there's something that you could do and there's something that you should do. Like if you have to study and you're like in bed, you could stay in bed and like that'd be the easier thing, but you should study. And it feels wrong. Like it's just a skill that you build up over time is like I could leave the dishes just there on the sink, but I should clean them. And it sucks, but you build up like that sense of responsibility or determination where I still feel like I don't want to go to the gym, but I should. Um, and it's just like, the end goal is worth it. You should do it.
Mhm.
Um, you could just keep going into the same cycles, like same depression or anxiety cycles, but you should see help. And sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it can get in the way, but it'll be worth it in the end if you think you should get help.
Did you? Because I know in this generation, I knew that I was really like during COVID, I was really depressed. And I knew how because I don't know if you're ever scrolling through TikTok and then like you get that one video that goes like, "Whoa, you've been scrolling for way too
Yeah,
long. You need a
yeah.
break." There was a one time that I was in my bed for a whole week and I got it 25 times.
Oh my gosh.
25 times. Straightforward, just like, whoa, whoa. I was like, whoa, you need to calm down.
Yeah, that was a sign.
Like, calm down. And then finally, I just told myself, I was like, dude, you need help. And for some reason, like when a lot of people go like, oh, you don't like therapy, you need Jesus. and sometimes you just need someone telling you what's up. Do you ever feel like you just needed someone telling you, or do you just like you were like, how do I express this? Do you feel like religion was your way out, or did you just need someone in that moment to tell you you have a way out?
I think religion is. I think the I started off with therapy because they helped me figure out what was going on, and they helped me resolve conflicts that I had internally, externally, and a lot of conflicts. And then religion is something that I would then use to keep that going. Um, is like I don't know how to explain it. Like I found out or I figured out how to make myself a better person, and then I use religion to stay as a better person.
Oh, that's actually really good.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, yeah, yeah. What was good? No, that's actually really, really good. Do you ever get to a point where you're scared that motivation is not going to be enough?
I know it's not going to be enough sometimes.
Oh,
I know it's the same thing with matrimony. I think in relationships, there's going to be times where your partner hates you. There's going to be times where you don't want to be like so into your partner. But the thing is that you choose each other over the your own feelings. So eventually with religion, it's not going to be enough and you're going to feel like that loss of touch. But you got to keep trusting over whatever you're feeling. You just you should keep that faith. And it's like I don't want to live by these rules. I don't want to live by this moral code anymore. Um, but you should because you know that you're going to get out of that rut one day. Because if you allow yourself, you could stay in the rut, but you should stick to your goals and like keep going.
you know, it's crazy because I don't know if you could tell my room. There's one specific hero that's all around me, which is Spider Man, and I think it's weird because I don't know if you ever seen Spider Man Into the Multiverse, the very first one.
I've seen everything.
Oh, he's seen everything, brother. He's seen everything, brother. Let me tell you, brother. Um, there's a scene where he's hanging onto the window, and he goes like, "Leap of faith." And when I broke down one day, and I remember I was like completely on the floor. For those who don't know, I keep always saying this in every episode. This was my prayer room. So none of this was here.
Oh, like this?
This was my prayer
Oh.
room. So I remember I was like, something was telling me, I was like, call this person. So I call this person, and this is the real reason I made the podcast. She's like, hey, and I was like, hi. And mind you, I only met this person last year summer, so we don't really know each other. We don't know each other, but we go to the same church. She's like, what's up? And I'm like, somebody tells me to like call you and like I need help. And then she goes, you know, it's so weird. I was just listening to podcasts about this. And I was just like, David could do this. It's so weird. She's like, but just follow your heart, take a leap of faith. And mind you, I was looking at this Spider Man, this one right here. Which one is this one? Yeah, this one, where he's swinging off. And I go, screw it.
Yeah.
We're going to make this podcast. We're going to invite people who have the same trauma as me. And I just invite everybody. I invite Marina. I invite like everyone who just has trauma. But love you.
How'd you know?
I was like, we were in speech and debate. Trust me. You know, we have to project our voice, but we have to hide our feelings. That's how we did it.
Yeah.
But doing this is super scary, and it's one of those things where I told you I wasn't scared that I was not going to succeed in this podcast. What scared me was you guys telling me, nah, we don't like you. Don't do that. You ever got into a point where you were afraid of the word no?
Yeah, I think all the time. I think even now. But it's just like I still feel that sense of anxiety of being told no, but like I just put my head down and I know that like, I have to do it. There's no choice. Like if I don't do it, and
But I
don't
feel like
ask-
being told no is like the best thing you could ever get in life.
what makes you say that?
My thing is being told no is it's okay because that means that that's fine. Don't get me wrong, I'll cry, I'll get sad, but I'll get over it. And being told no means someone's gonna say yes,
Mhm.
you know? And I think that's what you learn from being told no. Sometimes you get told no because it's best for you, or
Yeah.
maybe no means not right now. You know what I mean? Um, but you still get scared of being told no.
Yeah, because if you ask somebody something or you ask for a favor or something, you already have a plan in mind. So if you get told no, it's like, oh, that's not what I was planning on. But you don't expect a no in most cases, I guess. Um, but also like the people that you would ask on the podcast if they wanted to come on. Same thing goes for like friends. If they don't want to help you grow and like support your aspirations, and those probably are not people that should be involved.
I actually got told no by one person.
Really?
I got told no, and it was
What's
actually the first person on my list.
Yeah.
They were the first person on my list. Actually,
Who
no,
was it? Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
they were the second person on my list because the first person was actually Jasmine, and surprisingly, she said yes. It was the second person on my list, and I said, "Hey, funny story. We went out to go eat. I bought this camera. No, I literally bought the camera that same day. I think gonna make a podcast. What would you think about doing it with me?" And they're like, "No," and I go, "Okay."
Yeah.
And they're like, we're eating. They're like, "Is it gonna be split or together?" I'm like, "Separate." Pretty much.
Yeah.
No, but I asked that person weeks later. It's like, "Why'd you say no? Like, you and me have great connection. Like, I feel like we would do the podcast together." And she said, "Because this is your dream, and I know
Okay.
you'll succeed in it. Because then you're always gonna think, oh, I wonder if she likes this, or should I do that one person, or you're gonna find the people who you want to be with and who you want to interview. Will I be a guest? Of course, but I can't help you with this one. You gotta do it alone." You ever got in
That's
that
nice.
moment, right?
Yeah,
Like, I
that's
was
nice.
like,
That's nice.
okay, that was good. She'll be on the podcast one day, and I'll call her out one day and be like, I was like, all right, I guess. Do you ever get scared of being alone and having to do stuff alone? And because there's certain things that you're not gonna be able to do with your fiance, you're
Mhm.
gonna have to do it alone. Do you ever get that, or do you ever think like that?
To be scared of it, I don't think so. I think that was a lot of the upbringing was like we were first in a lot of stuff. Um, and I think, like
Is
I
she the
said,
youngest?
mhm, yeah, she's the
Wow,
youngest.
that's crazy.
She's the youngest. I'm the oldest. Um,
But mind you, I just like to say this: Luis is he's the fun one, which is like funny because
the fun one.
he's so immature. Like it's so
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
to me. He's the oldest. He's supposed to be mature, but nah. Leave it to Daisy and be like, we can't do that. We can't hate people because we
No,
think it's
yeah,
funny.
yeah, yeah. We goof around a lot, especially. I mean, we both do. That's why like I love spending time with her. We goof around like kids, and sometimes I feel like a kid. Um, yeah, I put on this persona of being very mature, very yeah, but no, I'm really childish with a bunch of stuff. um, but yeah, I think it's just being like the first. You got or just working through things alone. You got used to just working on things yourself. And it's not scary. It would be nice in some cases to have people around you to help you out, but I don't think I'm scared of being alone anymore.
Are you comfortable being alone?
I think so. One of the things in high school was up until recently, I was really socially anxious. And in high school, I mean, especially, everybody's a little socially anxious, I think, in high school. Um, I've always been very picky with my friends, not in like a mean way, but I just wanted people who wanted the best for me. So I'll keep friends. Like I still have friends from like second, third grade. And we talk all the time because it's just worth it. Like I know they're a person that would love to see me grow and vice versa. Um, so I wouldn't talk to too many people, also because I was socially anxious. And I don't know, sometimes there are often there'd be times where I would just kind of be alone. Like there would be none of my friends around, and I didn't really feel like talking to other people because I didn't know where it was going to go, what was going to happen. And I was scared about that. So I got really comfortable being by myself um, because I just had this like, what is it? What is the thing Albert Einstein says?
I would not know.
Eureka!
Eureka!
I had a Eureka moment, and I was like, why?
He just
do
had
I
an Eureka
care?
moment right now. He's
Yeah.
like, Eureka!
And I was like, why do I feel so scared that I'm not talking to anybody right now? Like, I just have myself. I'll always have myself. Why not just feel comfortable in my own skin?
You think that's dangerous? To love being alone?
Yeah, I think it's super dangerous because then you might become like a recluse and like shut yourself off from the world. But I think there's a balance. There's a balance to everything. Too much of anything is too bad.
And I think it's weird because we're so polar opposites. Even in high school, we were so polar opposites. Because, like you said, he was very quiet. He really chose his friend group, and I talked to everybody in high school. Like I was that one kid that like, for some reason, I'd be at this table, I'd be at this table, I'd be
Yeah.
at this table. But reality is, I really didn't like anyone in high school. Like I have my close friends that I have right now since like for example, my best friend ever, Denise. I was just talking to her yesterday, and we were just talking about high school and how chaotic it was that I just knew everybody. And I think it's funny because she just had her baby. She had her baby 2 weeks ago, which is
Congratulations.
yeah, super crazy. She calls me, no, she texts me at 3 in the morning. Mind you, I'm like dead asleep. Ring ring. And I'm like, who is calling me at 3:45 in the morning? I look at the message and it says, "Hey, just wanted to let you know I'm going into labor, but have a good night."
Okay, bye.
And I go, "The fuck?"
Yeah.
I wake up and I was like, "What the hell is wrong?" But it's moments like those where like I really am happy that I chose the right people in my life. And like for example, do you ever feel like that? You ever hang out with your friend group and you're like, "Yeah, I'm making the right choice right now in life, or I'm living my life."
Yeah. I think obviously I still pursue new friendships. Like being around new people is always super cool and they'll introduce you to new things. Like my friends have recently gotten me into playing the guitar and skateboarding and painting. Um, so it's always great to meet new people and that's that balance. Like you want those people that are always going to be there for you, like your rock. And there's these other
He's just
people.
that guy.
What?
He plays the guitar. He has muscles. How many tattoos? He has tattoos.
I have 9, I think.
9,
8. I have 8.
He has 8. He's
Yeah.
just that guy, bro. He's that
Yeah.
guy.
I really love my tattoos.
He. I feel like sometimes when I look at Luis, he reminds me of that guy in high school who's like, he's not really your friend, but he's gonna be nice. He's gonna be like, "Yeah, you're doing great. Don't touch me."
Yeah, no.
That's fine. That's cool.
No, I try to be super nice.
No, he's super sweet.
I try to be super
He's
nice.
so, like I said, he's so humble, down to earth. Until like one day you see me at the gym pump, you're like, "You look great." Yeah, I know. I know.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're gonna take a quick break right here, and then we'll be right back. Welcome back to the podcast. Once again, I am here with Luis. Oh, that's pretty. So a few more topics before we close out. So you're Mexican?
Yeah.
Mexican, okay. So I know we talked about your family status a little bit, and your dad was just a hardworking, typical Mexican dad. Did he ever engrave those stereotypical mindsets?
Like the
machista.
machismo? Yeah.
Yeah, a man has to be like this. And men don't do this. Men don't do that. You have to be the breadwinner. Were those things that you were told as a kid?
I don't think I was ever told them, but I think that I was just shown and expected that that's what a man grows into. Not only like from family values, but like TV, movies, art, videos, like stuff showed that like it's ingrained into our society. I think that there's a difference between real machismo and like fake machismo. Not fake, but my philosophy with like there's a thing you could do and a thing you should do. I usually think that the thing that you could do is the easier thing and it's what you're going to default to. And the thing that you should do is the more difficult thing that'll pay off a little more. I think that the real machismo is what should be happening. Not like everybody is free to like live their own lives. Like I support everybody's way of life as long as it's like a good, respectful human, And then there's the like could machismo, which is the fake machismo, where it's unfortunately like men that think that they can do whatever they want, that they can get super angry, that like therapy is bad.
Do you believe in toxic masculinity?
Yeah.
Do you think it's real?
Yeah, definitely.
Have you seen it firsthand?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Being the person that I don't get to see it.
What do you mean?
I don't see it. Like, I really... It goes back to the me choosing the right people in my life. But, machismo, I do see a lot. But toxic masculinity, I correct it the minute I see it. And
Yeah.
it's only happened twice. That's what I said. What I mean by, like, I don't see it. And I really don't understand the whole... The only emotion I have is mad. Like, I'm just like, dude, you were just crying watching Spider-Man. Like, you're mad that it doesn't come out until next year. Like, why are you... Like, it's okay to cry. But,
Yeah.
like, people just don't understand that everyone has emotions. How you choose to deal with them is your way, right? But if you choose to only have one emotion, it affects how you see life.
Yeah.
And you see life pretty beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. You see life pretty
Life is beautiful.
Oh, life is beautiful. You know? You remember that TikTok goes like, nice place, huh? Beautiful place to, you know, shaboing your girl.
What?
Have you seen that?
No idea what this is.
Have you seen that TikTok?
No,
No.
I don't have TikTok.
Ah!
I'm sorry. I had to really like put my head down for because this is my last year, so I really didn't want to mess up.
Oh, okay.
My last semester, I'm like, okay, spend too much time on TikTok, like you said. I would get those like, you've been on here for too long, so I just deleted it. But yeah, I haven't seen it, but good reference, I think.
I did. Good reference. I do take one advice from Luis is he takes a very long time to reply, and he doesn't do it on purpose. It's because he's just trying to be in the moment. And I started doing that with life. this is me being in the moment, me being, okay, what's up? Like, what's good? But going back to the topic that we were talking about, because our ADHD is kicking so bad. It's
Yeah.
so bad. I know Luis supposed to ask me like the most unhinged questions right now. It is like, focus. Are there specific things that you want to implant in your children?
Yeah, I think that you can build a good person. Like I said, so having anger be your only emotion, that's just ignorant. I had like, maybe it's something with like the school system or family systems, I don't know. I had to learn how to like feel. Like that was part of my therapy. Like in my second and third year in therapy, like I had to learn how to feel. Like I didn't know my emotions. I didn't know what felt what. I don't know what was at the fault of it.
Guys, if you guys hear the rain, that's the rain. Just to let
That's
you guys
so
know.
zen.
So sad. Perfect timing too.
But having just one emotion be anger, that's just ignorant. And I've seen it a lot in my family. As a kid, parents, if you see this, I'm sorry, but it's just my truth. Like as a kid, my parents were always at work. They were tired all the time. But my dad would always resort to anger. There's been a lot of moments that I can recall where anger was scary. And I always thought of it as a kid, and I'm like, I don't like this. I'm the kid and I don't like this. I'm not gonna grow up to be that type of dad, that type of parent. So I think even very, very little, it's like I could resort to anger and mimic what my dad is showing, but I should be nice and like learn how to problem solve and resolve conflicts. I think that one thing that I would ingrain is to feel what your body's telling you and follow what your body tells you. I think following your gut is a pretty good thing. You followed your gut and you created this podcast and everything is falling into place.
First of all, he doesn't have a gut. I don't want to hear
What?
that. He has a whole like six pack for no freaking reason, but we're not gonna talk about that. No, that's a very, very simplistic, very nice. My final question, because I know people are watching this and they're just looking at you. I just know for a fact. They're gonna be like, David, shut up. I'm just trying to listen to him. No, but my final question, it's actually something so sincere, it's so real. What would you say, like me, for example, let's say just came up to you and I said, dude, can't. And I'm exhausted. I'm burned out. I can't do this no more. And it's not just like what I'm doing right now, but just life in general. Like I get burned out. What is your? He gives really good advice. What is your one stand? You have literally just. You're the last person they're gonna talk to, and you're literally telling them what.
I think I would show appreciation first. I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, I love you. Like, stay around, you know? Like, if that's where it's going to. But if you're just like, if you're being depressed, it's not an easy place to be by any means. Like, I hated being there. But it's just, I don't know, there's situations that feel like they're impossible to get out of. But you just gotta put your head down and love yourself enough to tell yourself that you're gonna do whatever it takes to get out and like make yourself better. Because I think that the person you should love the most before you can love anybody else is yourself. And if you were to see someone that you cared about deeply going through a really tough time, like you'd want to help them in any way that you can. And you have a lot of power over where your life goes, depending on situations, of course. But putting in that work is never easy, but when you do, it'll be worth it.
Do you believe in forgiveness?
I think so.
Would you, not saying would you forgive your parents, but do you understand why they were so tired and they were so angry now that you're older?
Yeah, I definitely understand it. One of the things that my therapist told me is that I have no doubt that if like we had switched brains, our neurons switched neurons, whatever, that I would turn the exact same way you did, because we're not necessarily a product of our environment, but it takes a huge role in our lives. And my parents grew up a certain way, everybody grew up a certain way. But you have some power over what you want to choose. Like you could keep like staying in bed and being really like upset at yourself, upset at the world. But it would be a lot more beautiful if you started to work on yourself and like start loving yourself. Even though it's a hard thing to do, love is hard for yourself or for anybody else. It definitely helps put the color out in life.
Do you have any last minute questions? You can be as unhinged as you want, bro. Go for it.
No. What do you hope people get out of these podcasts?
So I know we were just talking about that I'm inviting one of our old teachers on this podcast, which she just confirmed yes, so you guys will be seeing her pretty soon. Little snaps. Oh, that's traumatized right there. That's trauma right there. If you know, you know. We invented that, bro. We did a little. But what I really want you guys to really take focus is everyone has a story. My vision in life is I love meeting new people. Even as a kid, I loved meeting new people. Not because I wanted to be friends or because I wanted people to notice me. Everyone has a story that's so complex and so beautiful that if you just look at someone's perspective from a distance, you'll never see how that person can change your life by the simplest thing. And the reason why I live by a code, always smile at the people who frown at you. Because you don't know what that person's going through. I remember I was sitting in orientation for a job and said, always say hi and smile, because you can make that person's life a little bit better. And so I always live by that. I always want to, like for example, I don't really know him, but I know him. I really wanted to get to know him on a deeper level, because I want people to notice how amazing you are as a person. Because you truly are amazing. You truly are one of those people who you say the most unhinged things in the calmest voice. Like, it's so funny to me. He's like, you want to go bungee jumping? Like, I just feel like it'd be like a cool... And he never has like a reason for it. He's just like, oh no, why not? You know? And it's that type of motivation that I want people to have. You know, I want people to have an outlet, and it's a little behind the scenes. The podcast was going to be called Therapy Talks, TT, because we're sparing the T. Yeah, you see? But I didn't want people to feel ashamed to go to therapy. So I wanted people to say, pues, ¿quién soy? So you can discover who you are and who
Nice.
other people are. So that's what the whole story of David ¿Quién soy? Because I can tell you who you are, but can you tell me who you are? So yeah.
Beautiful voice.
Any other questions, sir?
Huh?
This is your one chance, bro. National, worldwide. It's worldwide over here. Random question. Did you ever go bald?
I thought about it.
Yeah, I can see it. I'm not gonna
I thought
lie.
about it because I think it's liberating to do things that you're scared of. So like,
Have you ever buzzed your head?
I'm not. I'm going to.
I recommend it.
Thank you.
Because when I did it for Bad Bunny, because here's the thing. I don't really have a vinyl
You
or
did it for Bad Bunny?
I am a huge Bad Bunny. And I mean huge. If you look right behind you, that's his heart.
What?
That one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So
what is this? This is that.
So
Yeah.
when he came out with Monaco, I buzzed my entire head.
Damn.
And this was last year. So I went to his concert, I busted on the same day. And this is when I was going through a lot. Mind you, it really does get better because I started off 2024 without a job. I quit my job of 6 years that I hated with my entire life. I had a job lined up. They ended up firing me because I wasn't cut out for it. I didn't have a job for a month and I had $20 in my bank account. Out of nowhere, I go to my work. The lady looks at me. She says, "Have you applied?" I go, "Yeah. You have an interview on Friday." And I got the job. And a year now, 2024 was not my year. I'm not gonna lie, it was not my year. I lost over 20-something pounds, 27 pounds. I was the skinniest ever, but I was the most depressed because the reason why I was so skinny was because I didn't eat, but at the same time I was pushing carts at the time. So pushing carts for 8 hours, not eating, your body really like
Pushing carts is tough.
It's tough.
Really tough.
And it sucks because you have these people that you're working with and everyone only pushes 10 carts. And we didn't have the machine. We don't have the machines. You have to push them by hand. And so I, for some reason, kept telling myself more is better. So the most I've ever taken was 25 carts. And I kept telling myself, oh, like, this makes me stronger. Until finally I was like, it's going to be how many carts. It does not matter. It just do your best. And so, where was I going with this? Just, life gets better. Any questions?
No, I think I'm
I just
good.
ran all the way.
Thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
Of course.
I really loved it. It was really
I'm
fun.
very, very thankful that he's here. Very, very happy that you're here. I really hope for the best for you guys. You know, I don't know if you know this, I do pray for you guys a lot. I hope the baby comes out perfect, beautiful. Just make sure you name it David.
Yeah, middle name.
My middle name. It's like, it's a thought that counts. What about the first letter? What do we just, Damien or something?
Yeah.
That's right. But any last words that you want to lead us with?
Thank you, David. This was Lumo. David ¿Quién soy?
Yeah. Well, once again, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you want to see more like this, please like and subscribe. I post every single Monday. And like always, if last Monday sucked, your last week was the worst week ever, this Monday is going to be better. You just got to manifest that. So have a great week, and I'll see you guys next Monday. Bye.